Good morning, St. Paul. This is your Un-Bougie foodie, Wesley Wright. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, as always. I hope you had a wonderful week. And it is Saturday, thankfully. Looking forward to the remaining portion of the weekend, that is. I know we're just beginning, but still, giving us an opportunity to get together and talk about food. So once again, thank you for tuning in this morning. Again, I'm here every Saturday at 10 a.m. bringing you exciting new places to eat, recipes, restaurants to visit within the community. And if you want to follow me and find out more information on some of these places, as well as recipes posting or that I discuss on the air, please visit my Facebook page, the Un-Bougie Foodie, or Instagram at _Un-Bougie Foodie, and then of course there is Twitter, which is at Un-Bougie Foodie. And as always, I'm so open to talk and discuss either on the air or in email or however you're contacting me through social media. On air, you could certainly call the radio station and offer maybe a suggestion or ask a question about someplace in the neighborhood that you might be interested, depending upon your cuisine and what you like, that you would like a suggestion on. But to call the radio station and to talk to me, it will be 651-200-3479. Again, that's 651-200-3479. So remember the number. But if you, again, just even have a comment and want to let me know how the show is doing, leave a message on my Facebook page, or feel free to send me a message, an email, if you would, through the Un-Bougie at gmail.com. Again, that's the Un-Bougie at gmail.com. And I'll answer as quickly as I can. I'm all about getting, back to listeners if they have a suggestion or a comment or so forth. So I'm here for you. I hope you know that. So let's get started. There are a few things that I want to talk about. Please remind me. Keep me honest. I gotta tell you all about 7th Street Live. Remind you about that. And, if anything, I'll probably be reminding you about that on a weekly basis until the event. And then the day of the event, you got to show up. But let's get started. There were, there's I won't say a serious topic, but, again, I'm always trying to talking about food awareness or sometimes social issues regarding the community and food associated with food. And we on this show we talk so much about so many different variety of foods, and I want everyone to know, first off, I'm not a nutritionist, but I do try to do my research and make sure to provide that information to the community or to listeners so that they can make a decision for themselves and do their own research. And so I don't think I know. I have a small group of friends, if you would, that might be either vegetarian or vegan. And again, that's a whole nother show, but I would really love, I would definitely look forward to having one of my other friends that are vegetarian or more living a more plant-based life and doing cuisine that's more plant-based, to come on the show and we could discuss that even further, because as much as research that I'm doing, it's probably not at the level of truly understanding about the different plant-based cuisines or diets that are out there. But that brings me to the topic of how are you? What are you doing in reference to if you are doing a plant-based lifestyle or living a plant-based lifestyle, what exactly are you doing, and what are your reasons behind it? One article I was looking in. Mississippi Market actually is a great resource for finding out things such as plant-based life and lifestyles and cuisines. And in their monthly magazine, Taste for Life, and you could certainly, for more information, you could go to tasteforlife.com to find out additional information about this subject. And they've entitled it Firmly Planted. So it talks about, plant protein, and mentions that 30% of Americans are actually trying to eat a more plant-based or plant protein lifestyle because they believe it's affordable and it's a sustainable meat change or meat choice or food choice, excuse me. And could certainly see that because, especially when you're living within the bounds of a city, you don't, really, you can't raise cattle. But what is easier and really is affordable, even if you just have a small little backyard or something, you could seriously grow a number of fruits and vegetables, and again, very affordable and sustainable. And that's what they're leaning towards. But interesting topics or subjects that they're mentioning, why they're going towards that plant based or plant protein lifestyle and cuisine. Medical school, of course. So again, always research. Harvard Medical School researchers there, they found that when you substitute 3% of calories, from animal-based or animal protein with plant protein, it was linked to a 12% reduction of a risk of dying from heart disease, as well as a 10% reduction of dying from any cause under, over a 32-year period, or the time period that they did their study. It goes on to say that a specific registered dietitian in Toronto mentioned that switching to a plant-based life is better in the long term. It lowers the risk for heart disease as well as obesity. Now, yes, I know that we talk about the different variety of foods and so forth that I consume, as well as other friends that have been on the show, places that we've talked about. True enough, you do have to actually make your decision and take steps necessary in living a healthy lifestyle. If it does mean turning more to a plant protein cuisine, and again, that would be vegetarian, vegan, so on and so forth. It really is up to you. I'm making sure that I'm bringing this information to you just to inform and provide some information, and just sometimes even when you're doing research, you start to think of it personally as, wow, can I really be more a vegetarian? For myself, I love vegetables. I really, really do. However, I know personally, I don't know if I really could be just truly vegetarian or vegan. I mean, there are different levels and so forth, but I would miss eating shrimp and chicken and beef and a few other things. But the article goes on to say that and that registered dietitian Andy DeSantos, he mentioned that eating a wide variety or wide array of plant-based foods such as fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, as well as milk alternatives such as soy, it would help you in it would help you in the long term. especially if you've been relying on animal-based foods for whatever protein that you're looking for. And there are so many different types that are available. I mean, they have just as examples of protein, the different types of protein or plant-based, for instance, nuts and seeds, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, soybeans, quinoa. You know how I feel about quinoa. I don't dislike it, but I think it needs to be just prepared a certain type of way. Lentils, whole grains, lentil pastas, legumes. So it's a wide variety, and there's much more that it goes on and to talk about. But the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, they state that being a truly planned vegetarian, and that also includes a vegan lifestyle, it is very healthful, as well as nutritionally adequate when you're trying to prevent treatment of certain diseases such as type 2 diabetes, cancers, hypertension, as well as others. I mean, just really providing you with a healthy way of living. Now, to my point that I was mentioning about, perhaps I might not be able to be that jump right into being a vegetarian and going to a full plant-based protein cuisine and lifestyle. True, it's not. Vegetarianism and veganism, even though it's very healthy, it isn't for everyone. And really, we shouldn't knock anyone for if they choose to be or not to be, or to going down that route of a plant-based lifestyle. But the nutritionist Andy DeSanto does say that people that don't choose to go that route, they can still consider maybe like a halfway point, or maybe do some compromise. Very popular out in, I've heard many times, either among friends, but even there are cookbooks that focus specifically on the Mediterranean diet, and this emphasizes plant foods with just a sprinkling of maybe some type of dairy or meat and seafood and poultry. So that is something to consider, certainly. American Heart Association talks about having a plant protein diet. It makes sure that you are going to have that caloric outtake or intake that you need for energy. So again, it's a very interesting article, and if you desire a look into it further, as I mentioned before at the outset, before we talked on the subject, visit Taste of Life or tasteforlife.com, and specifically the article is entitled Firmly Planted, Exploring Non-Meat Resources or Sources of Protein. And of course, there are sources that you could also look into as well. Specifically, there's a article on the Association of Animal and Plant Protein Intake with All Cause and Cause-Specific Mortality, and that is provided by the Journal of the American Medical Association, or JAMA. That was back in October 16. Are plant proteins complete proteins? That's a Consumer Report article that was available in February 2017. And again, many other articles that were referenced that used these sources and references for the article of Firmly Planted. So again, look into that and make your choice, make your decision, and don't let anybody else try to tell you, oh, well, you should do it. Doing your research provides you with the knowledge and the education necessary for you to make that decision, not for anybody else. Definitely consult a doctor and even a nutritionist. When you have personally made that decision, they could also help you verify and confirm, hey, is this the best type of diet or lifestyle for me? And then go from there. What do I always say? Never let anyone tell you what kind of food you eat to be. Because really, it's about, I should add, it's about you and the food. But yeah, so way cool on that. So I know, again, there are some friends out there that are vegetarian, or they lead more of a plant-based or plant protein and plant-focused lifestyle, and have their cuisine specific to, I don't really do meats and so forth. So hey, if you're interested, I'm more than interested in having you on. More than excited to have you on air with me, just talking about your own experience about that. So hey, okay, this is gonna probably sound bad because we've been talking about plant-based cuisine and lifestyle and so forth. So I'm gonna be going into a particular recipe that I saw. I'm jumping from one to another, one spectrum to the other, one end of the spectrum to another. It was a recipe that I have had, gosh, for quite some time. I had gone to a cooking class. My goodness, I can't even remember. Oh wow, it was 2011. 2011, but it was a cooking class in St. Paul, which I have to remind you. I have to tell you about a cooking class that I went to just on Thursday, which was really exciting. Hopefully I'll have time to get to it. If I don't, next week, or I'll put it online. But this particular cooking class, we had various, I don't know, it was more grilling. How to do a salsa. How to do two salsas, salsa mexicana, salsa verde, and then making a sangria. It is summertime, so this is the time to really enjoy a nice, refreshing adult beverage, especially in this heat, man. I'm telling you. But again, there was also a pineapple chipotle salsa. But so all three of those. But in addition to all of those that we focused on, there were other recipes that I want to talk. One I want to specifically talk about, which is grilled marinated flank beef or steak. And it is again a recipe, but in mentioning the recipe, there is a point that I'm going to make as well. So let's go through the recipe. So if you have a pen and paper, as always, I encourage you always, if you're having your cup of coffee or having breakfast and you're sitting and listening to us, always good to have a pen and paper handy, because you never know what exciting recipe is gonna show up on the on the show. So again, this one is a grilled marinated flank steak or beef. The ingredients that you're going to need for this, it starts off with a 1/4 cup of oil. And I'd say olive oil. I really enjoy cooking with olive oil. I mean, again, we were talking about more plant-based proteins and so forth. If you're already cooking with olive oil, you're on headed down the right path. Hello, it's olive oil. So, you use olive oil instead. The next is 3/4 cups of red wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin seed. So ground cumin, 2011. I don't know what they were thinking. the different wording to use. The next is 1 tablespoon of McCormick's Montreal steak seasoning. And that Montreal steak seasoning, I mean, it really is kind of specific to when you're having a steak or beef. True enough, you can use it on chicken as well, but because of the different type of flavors that are in it, gosh, you want to use it always on beef. So, yeah, 1 tablespoon of McCormick Montreal steak seasoning. Next is 1 to 2 teaspoons of hot sauce. Now, that is left up to you what type of hot sauce you want to use. I don't have a recommendation. I mean, okay, I love Frank's hot. Yeah, I enjoy it immensely. But there are, if you want to add maybe a little bit of Caribbean type of feel to it, there are some certain seasonings that are out there, or depending upon your heat level, you know, hey, maybe there are some other Scoville laden liquids that you'd like to add to that that might be a little bit different, some habanero hot sauce or something, who knows. But anyway, it is 1 to 2 teaspoons of hot sauce. Next is 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 3 cloves of garlic minced, and then important is 2 pounds of flank steak. And then the last ingredients is 2 green onions, or scallions as they're also referred to as, sliced on the bias. Remember that, because that is going to actually be something that I'm going to talk about specific to the meat. But again, that whole cutting on the bias, we'll get to that. So the instructions for this is, and it's quite simple. It really is. Combine all the marinade ingredients in a bowl and then pour over the flank steak. Allow the steak to then marinate for about 45 minutes. Then you're going to preheat a grill or a grill pan. You know, some of us live in an apartment, so we have to use a grill pan. Hopefully you're using a nice cast iron grill pan if you don't have, a grill in the wonderful outdoors or in backyard or patio. Yeah, can you tell my jealousy is setting in? No. So yeah, either you preheat your grill or a grill pan. And once it's hot, you're going to grill the steak, turning it over after about 8 minutes on each side. So it's going to be kind of cooked medium rare. Now, that could be a whole nother subject on the different levels of cooking and different steaks. So these are just subtopics, and as we're coming across certain subjects, keep in mind, you never know, they could be upcoming shows. We are coming to grilling season, and you know how folks sometimes grill a steak or maybe that hamburger to death. Yeah. So in this instance, you're going to be cooking it medium rare. So that's about 160 to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you're going to allow that to rest on a cutting board for 8 to 15 minutes. Now, that's important because if you're not familiar with, cooking a steak, and specifically any type of beef, and it really can be with any meat, actually, you want your meat to retain the juices. You're already cooking it and it's bringing out or extracting those juices from the whatever meat it is, specifically beef, that you're cooking. But you don't want it to just totally release, so that when your guests or family members or whatever are eating that meat that you've prepared or that you've grilled, it is totally, all the moisture has just simply run out. Because you've cut it too quickly, or you felt that you needed to cut it, 2 or 3 minutes just for it to cool down, and then off the grill and you're already slicing it. No. So, and again, it is I won't say a science, but it can be, because certain types of meat you want to rest maybe a shorter time frame or a longer time frame. Here for this one, again, for this flank steak, it is saying allow to rest on a cutting board for 8 to 15 minutes. 8 to 15 minutes. I've seen also that you could kind of like maybe put a cover on it, or maybe like a bowl to keep in that moisture. That also does help keep in that moisture as well, because the heat as it's being released, again, what happens when something has, for instance, been boiling water on the stove. As it begins to boil and heat and steam release, water starts to evaporate. So likewise, in the case of having your meat sit there, rather than just having it out in the open, put a cover or maybe like a bowl over that, retaining the moisture even more. So after it's been resting, then it says to slice the beef on the bias and then arrange it on a platter, and then garnish it with green onions. Now, notice I mentioned that part about slicing the beef on the bias. I talked about that on the green onions, slicing it on the bias, and you're probably wondering, okay, gosh, what is that? Well, we'll talk about that in just a second. But here you have that grilled marinated flank beef or flank steak. It makes about 8 servings when it's done. When prepared well, and you are looking, when you've obtained that 2 pounds of flank steak. I mean, true enough, you can adjust it to the number of servings that you'd like. So customize it, make it yours. Now, the talk on the subject though of slicing it on the bias, or cutting the beef on the bias. Okay, what they're talking about there is actually slicing the meat against the grain. And again, you've heard that over and over, or mention it in different probably food shows and so forth, about, oh, you're gonna slice the cabbage on the bias, or slice the meat on the bias. Well, it is important to do that, because it's not it is not so much that you're trying to get that prettiness and color, and because I mean, for myself, presentation is everything. So yes, for me, yeah, I enjoy that. But the reason why you want to do that, again, is it allows for a chewier piece of meat, one that could be tender if it was sliced differently, or more too tender if it's sliced differently, and that's not really what you want. You want meat that has some type of substance along with it. Cutting it along the bias or against the grain is important, because one, you do have to find the grain, or the direction. So the grain being the way that the muscle fibers are aligned, and then you're cutting across those grains rather than parallel with it. It retains that moisture. The taste of the beef itself, I'm trying to find the best way to describe that, but the taste of it is different when you are cutting it against the bias, and we're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that, and that's basically what it means. And further discussion can be had about why you do it that way, and how the different cuts are. But, again, cutting against the bias just ensures that you're going to have a juicier piece of beef or meat that you're working with. So, education. There, we're educated a little bit more. Okay, so another recipe. Gosh, it's not another recipe day because there are other subjects or topics. But you covered plant-based, meat-based. You gotta throw in a little bit of dessert in there. Now, I don't know if anyone has seen or maybe even heard of a Hawaiian cheesecake salad, but it just sounds amazing. And trust me, the video looks quite appetizing. And I'm going to share that with you. It was one that I came across while just finding different topics and recipes to discuss with you. But before I do that, again, I want to encourage anyone, any of the listeners out there, if you're interested in making a comment about the show, a suggestion of your own, feel free to do so. Give us a call here at 651-200-3479. Again, that number is 651-200-3479, or else you can always leave me a message on my Facebook page, comment, and let me know what you think. You never know, you could be on the air. Want to thank those for listening also on the TuneIn app. Again, you can always hear my show streaming live on the TuneIn app. So if you download that app today, you could hear my show, the Un-Bougie Foodie, every Saturday at 10 a.m. And that's wherever you are on any of your mobile devices. But onto the Hawaiian Cheesecake Salad. The Hawaiian Cheesecake Salad. Gosh. I'm going to read you the ingredients and, go through the instructions on that as well. So first, 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. Again, I suppose that I could say that I do have a preference. Philadelphia cream cheese. Yeah. You don't have to do Philadelphia, but, still, I enjoyed that. So if you're having sushi and it's a Philadelphia roll, yeah. So 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, 3.4 ounce package of instant cheesecake pudding, again, unprepared, 1 cup of International Delight French vanilla creamer, 1 pound of strawberries, hulled and sliced. Hulled meaning the stem has actually been removed already and it's just sliced up. And if you're, trying to find a really easy way to actually hull the strawberry, use a straw. Start from the bottom of the strawberry and then push it up through to the stem, and it'll come out quite easily, actually. Or if you go to maybe your local food and utensils department store, or ones that focus on food and cutlery and culinary arts at home, you might find a strawberry stem remover. And it's just a little push button, very simple. I think it's like $8 probably. But trust me, when you're doing, strawberries and you want to remove those stems really quick, I mean, literally, it's like a little claw. I'm getting off topic, but just trying to help you with getting the strawberries whole. But yeah, find that out. But if you don't have that or you can't get that, make sure you're using a straw, again, from the bottom of the strawberry, and then push it straight through. And that stem is just going to pop right out. And that's all it is. And then just make sure you're slicing it. Next is 4 mandarin oranges, peeled and sectioned. And man, do I love mandarin oranges. So, yeah. I could sit and eat mandarin oranges all day. I think that's an obsession of mine. 1. Next is 120-ounce can of pineapple tidbits, drained. So you don't want it, your cheesecake to be liquidy like that. Well, your cheesecake salad, I should say. So I think I have a bad habit of, when I'm draining certain fruits and so forth, I put them in a cup when I don't need the juice, and then just kind of like put it in the refrigerator, add a little soda water to it, and I drink it like a refreshing beverage. Now, of course, that's me. I don't know about anybody else. You could choose to do that and tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm crazy, but I don't like let things like that go to waste, especially, gosh, if it's pineapple or peaches. Gosh, yeah. Can you just imagine right now? Next is 3 kiwis, peeled and cut in half moons. And kiwis, the little hairy fruit with the seeds on the inside, whatever. Make sure you're peeling it though, because you don't want to have that outer skin. Make sure it's peeled all the way till that first layer of the fruit itself. So again, 3 kiwis, peeled and cut into half moons. 2 mangoes, cut into bite-sized chunks. 1 banana, cut into coins. And then a juice of half a lemon. It's a lot of fruit. And if I'm not careful, I will make a fruit salad and not be able to do the cheesecake portion of it. And I will have a fruit salad instead of the cheesecake salad. But yes, our purpose is to have the cheesecake salad. So next on the instructions, what you want to do in a medium tall bowl, you want to use perhaps like a measuring cup. Use an electric mixer, whip the cream cheese until it becomes really smooth. And you got to be careful about that because it may, be a little bit stiff when you're starting out, but it will actually loosen up. Next, you're going to add the dry pudding mix and beat that or whip that in until it's combined really well. You're then going to put your mixer on low, which is the next step. And then you're slowly going to add the creamer to the cream cheese mix. And then using a tablespoon at a time, you're going to add that the creamer until it becomes really smooth. The mixture is really combined with the cream cheese, and you're going to keep doing that until the creamer has been added to the entire mixture, and then you're going to whip that really, really smoothly. Next, here's where you're adding and combining all of your ingredients that we've talked about. So in a large bowl, you're going to combine strawberries, oranges, the pineapple, the kiwi, the mango, and then the cheesecake mixture to the fruit. And you're going to fold in your cheesecake mixture into the fruit. So you're not going to be stirring, because stirring is actually going to crush the fruit. You really want to kind of be gentle with it. And I think the best way to do a fold or folding in the cheesecake mixture with the fruit is to use a spatula, or maybe if you have a silicone spoon that's more flat than a shallow scoop. Start from the bottom or along the side of the bowl, and then kind of like lift up and turn over. Lift up and turn over. So that's what they're meaning by fold. And then just continue to do that until it's mixed. Now, even though we said that the fruit mixture, it did mention, or we left out, that the banana coins and the lemon juice, those are added in afterwards. So again, you want to, after you've combined the cheesecake mixture with the fruits that we talked about, the strawberries, the oranges, pineapple, kiwi, and mango, then afterwards you want to then add in the banana coins and then the lemon juice, and then you're just going to simply mix that in, and then again doing the whole fold with the entire mixture, and then you put it in the refrigerator until you want to serve it, until it's ready. You want to chill it. It's always good to put it cold. You want it to kind of get firm, a little firm, but not too much, because again, I mean, it is a cheesecake salad. So the mixture that you've done with the cheesecake, the cream cheese, and the cheesecake pudding packaging, French vanilla and the creamer and so on, that is what is going to give it that cheesecake type of flavor. And gosh, I was just thinking that if you really wanted to even make it more so, a presentation of that would be to have a nice clear bowl. Make sure you maybe prepare some graham cracker crumbs and put that in the bottom portion of these, maybe a small bowl or even a ramekin, let's just say, that graham cracker, and then spoon in your cheesecake salad mixtures, the fruits and so forth. So not only are they getting the, if you would, the essence of, hey, gosh, I'm having a cheesecake, but literally they are tasting graham cracker crumbs, because what really is a cheesecake without having some type of graham cracker crumble or something, or that base layer. Yeah. Ideas as we're coming up on the air. Trust me, that's not even in the recipe. It was just something that I thought of and said it needs to be mentioned. It needs to be talked about. Cheesecake is just, even if it is just not actual cheesecake, to have those crumbles or that graham cracker type of crumbs incorporated, I'm quite sure adds to that deliciousness of that Hawaiian cheesecake salad. So this one, this cheesecake salad, and also the flank steak, marinated flank steak, is going to be on the website, available for you to, if you didn't have a chance or opportunity to, record that as I was going through the information. But it will also be available for you on the Un-Bougie Foodie Facebook page. Remember that my shows are also recorded, so if you've missed this one, you will have the opportunity to, well, if you're listening, so missing a show, you still have an opportunity to listen to past shows by going to SoundCloud and just searching for the Un-Bougie Foodie. Also, the shows are also available and made possible through Stitcher. So again, all these various media types that you can catch the Un-Bougie Foodie on, past shows, readily available for your convenience and for you to listen on any of your mobile devices. So these are actually going to be available again on the site or at Facebook.com, the Un-Bougie Foodie. Promised that I was going to talk about 7th Street Live. More details and information are going to be coming up in the upcoming months and weeks and so forth. But really, save the date, people, because August 26th is going to be such a wonderful day and family-friendly event for you to bring your entire crew out to. Again, WEQY is hosting 7th Street Live, and again, it will be right here in St. Paul, 895 7th Street, and that's going to be St. Paul, Minnesota 55106. It will be from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Yes, food, vendors, fun, music. There's even going to be a parade, art. So yeah, they're making it totally a safe atmosphere and enjoyable for you to spend a few hours, even if it's just for a short time, to come out and enjoy the event. Again, make sure you save that date, August 26th, hosted by WEQY 104.7, your voice of the East Side. Yes, the voice of the East Side. 7th Street Live, August 26th, 12 to 6. Looking forward to seeing you all out there, so make sure you come out and enjoy yourself. Okay, so last thing I really wanted to kind of share. At one point early on in the segment, early episodes of the Un-Bougie Foodie, we had a segment called Get Your Groupon. Haha. And we're bringing it back. It's important to tell people about ways to enjoy new places, perhaps that they have not visited or known about within the community. And if they could do so being on a budget, even more so, why not? So there are two Get Your Groupons that I want to talk about. One is Mexican food at La Cabana. La Cabana, you get $15 for $30. So you actually reverse that. You get $30 worth of food for $15. And, that is available right now. So make sure you go on Groupon and check that out. And, they're a very popular seller, very popular in the community. Now, mind you, you do have time limits on your Groupons, but it's important to grab it while you can, because you know how Groupons are. They sell out kind of quick. So if you're interested in finding out where La Cabana is, it is in the Dayton's Bluff area, which is 863 East 7th Street. That's St. Paul, 55106. And they just have one location, but it's a great location. Great food, authentic. I've been some people that have visited there and talked very highly about it. But, they keep, it's authentic. They have adult beverages available as well if you're interested. But come on, can't go wrong with having all the varieties of types of meats that you're familiar with. At having a taco. Sounds good right about now, doesn't it? I mean, we're getting close to, we're getting close to the end of the hour. Wow. But still, there's nothing wrong with having a taco in the morning or having some type of Mexican cuisine. So if you're interested, again, it's $30 of food for $15, and that's like 50% off. And yeah, it's in the neighborhood. So go ahead and grab that one right here in St. Paul. The next one is, and this one you probably have to be a person that enjoys, well, not even enjoys, but you're just trying to probably find a great butcher or meat service in the area. Angus Meat Market. Angus Meat Market is located at 2700 Maplewood Drive. That is in St. Paul, Minnesota, 55109. And you're wondering, okay, gosh, what kind of Groupon can you have for them? Come on now, don't be that way. They offer a number of different opportunities for you to get some really great meat. For instance, 5 pounds of lean brisket and short rib meat ground together. So, brisket and ground and short rib meat. I mean, it's a high quality meat, the two of them together. So normally it would be about $34, $35 actually. You could get that at about 37% off, so $22, and that's 5 pounds. There are other options that are available. You could get that same mixture for $43 for 10 pounds, and then 15 pounds at $86. So you get an extra $10 off for the 15. It ends today though, so you got to be quick. And then for the 10 pound, it's $5 off. And then for the 5 pound, it is $2 off. So you're looking at a really great bargain, actually. And Angus Meat Market is a highly sought out meat market. A number, I'm going to just put that out there. You know, I try to be very honest with you in places that I've gone or enjoyed food. I have not gone to this meat market, but I have friends that have driven from Minneapolis to come over to Angus Meat Market to get certain cuts of meat. And these are folks that I know that cook, and home chefs that are really very particular about their types of meat or butchers that they go to. So yeah, Angus Meat Market, thank you very much for providing great and quality meat. If you're interested in finding out more information about them, you could go to angusmeatmarket.com to just again learn more about them. But again, here we are on in our segment called Get Your Groupon. Make sure you're going out there and grabbing that Groupon, if you're interested. So there are so many other meats and everything, but here they're just providing for ground beef. Come on now. We're going into summer. People are grilling hamburgers and so forth. Why not get a good cut of meat? Or not a good cut, excuse me. Get a good quality ground beef. I mean, that meat is going to be juicy. Oh, can you imagine? Yeah, mouth watering already. Here we are at the end of the show. Dang. Man, it goes by so quickly. But as always, gosh, thank you all so much for tuning in, with me, your Un-Bougie foodie. I'm so excited for the upcoming weeks because what's coming up in the next couple of months? Fair food, people. I mean, okay, and I did say a couple of months, so I didn't say a couple of weeks. A couple of months. So fair. You know that I'm going to bring you all my reviews and thoughts and so forth about the fair food. I might have a few guests coming along out of town, and they'll be on the air and being able to experience everything there is about the Minnesota State Fair. So yeah, it's always interesting to hear from other people's point of view or perspective that are from out of state, halfway across the country, if you would. And their take on some of these different foods and preparations, at the state fair. So I'm really excited, but not only because of that, but, within the same month, August, there is 7th Street Live. Prior to that, is just, number of different food, opportunities and things that you could do and get out with your family to do. So yeah, make sure you do that. Oh gosh, I could ramble on and on, about food. But so ends our day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Thank you all my listeners on the TuneIn app and across other social media areas that are listening to WEQY, again 104.7, the voice of the East Side. But again, tuning into my show, I hope it provided you with some exciting places and ideas on what to do for maybe a cuisine, as well as kept you food conscious and aware. So as I like to end every show, I want to encourage you never to let anyone tell you what type of foodie to be, because really it is all about the food. Until next time, people, take care and peace.